What's good, Pack Nation? Welcome to Packing with Gary. We discuss all things Wolfpack basketball, including the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. But today, I've given you all some time to adjust to the news that our guy Ven-Allen Lubin is coming back. So, if this is your first time on the channel, you might not be aware, but I like this a lot. My energy is on a scale from 1 to 10, a 12. Okay. Now, it's a lot of things and nuances that, sort of go into adding him to this team. And I understand that we're going to talk about it. But for me, Pac, this is a good problem to have, right? I know we had these guys come here and commit on thinking that, they were going to get certain playing time and all of this stuff, but we got to win. And this man gives us a better chance to win. If you don't believe that, I'm sorry for you. But most of you, we understand. We're all in agreement. We wanted this guy back. He is a Wolfpacker. He plays hard like he just grew up here and got it out the bricks. And everybody loves Ven-Allen. Like, you don't have anything negative to say about this guy. So I'm excited that he's back. All right. I want to chime in and touch base with you all before I get on my real soapbox about how excited I am about this. Okay. James Johnson says, big, strong 6'9" project coming back into the fold. Our ceiling is ACC championship, and Natty, of course. I predicted, so there it is. I'm on your show once it comes to pass. Listen, James, first off, you know how I feel about that project, man. So I'm leaving that alone today. It wasn't long ago we got into all of that. But if that happens and you predicted it, man, come on. I'd love to chat it up with you. Like, that is not a problem. And I hope you speak this into existence. It's a stretch, but hey, I'm there with you to keep the hype. David Johnson says, yes, I agree. Big, rugged, strong project, 6'9", 250 pounds to supplement the rest of our roster. Great character guy as well as a player. Smell top 4 in the league. All right. Top 4 in the league. What's up, Alice? Is NC State going to be ranked in the top 25? Look, I think we should be in the top 25, but everybody else is going to be adding players as well. So we should get that, but y'all know we don't get that type of respect with the media, right? So it's like we probably gonna have to show a little bit first, but I can see us being like right there, win a couple games and do it in a convincing fashion. All of a sudden in the top 25, it's not gonna take weeks or anything like that. Clyde Gaddis says, you happy, ain't you? Clyde, that's an understatement, my guy. Understatement. I'm past happy. Listen, if I wasn't concerned about just running y'all away with the loudness on your speakers, I'd be even more hype. So I'm trying to calm myself with this hype as I am. All right. This is a big deal. I mean, it gives us so much flexibility in the paint. We know how good this guy was with not running a play for him. We talking about somebody that's putting up, I mean, his numbers, we talking what, 14, almost 14 points a game, 7 rebounds, and you don't run plays for him? You call for him to go set the pick and roll to the basket or get it off the rim. This is huge. It's not about like people trying to say, oh, if he's still a project, whatever. I'm not getting into that. What I'm telling you is across college basketball, this man is a hot commodity on any team. If you could put a player like this on your team, you get good right away. Just because he does what needs to be done. And you don't have to cater to this man. He goes out there and hoops. Six feet five in Florida, 36 is like I said before. I still would like the 7-1 edition, the last scholarship. 65, you kind of greedy, which is cool. I think everybody would love to have that option, but I'm cool. I'm cool with not having it. Like he doesn't need to add anybody else for me because all these dudes not gonna play. So it's right now. That's one thing we have to talk about tonight is who's gonna mess around and get hurt the most out of Lubin coming back. Somebody gonna go sit down for an extended period of time. David Johnson says Evans at the 5, Lubin at 4, EY at the 3, P2 at the 2, Mead at the 1. Off the bench, you bring Hammonds, Adams, Mikey, Jurkovic, Hall, load the roster. So I'm not going to say the roster is loaded. Well, I know what you're saying. For me, I feel like Gainey should be able to rest easy at night because he doesn't have to worry about somebody catching a cold, the flu, whatever these kids are going to catch, partying, whatever. He doesn't have to worry about them missing a game and being like, oh, what we going to do? Because he has backups almost everywhere. And I know some of y'all are concerned about the backup PG, but I think we're fine there with Hammond or Adams backing up Ed Mead at the point, right? So, and I mean, I would like Whitty to get some burn, but I don't know if that's going to happen this year. But it's so much pushback about Paul McNeil playing the 2, right? For me, I want that. I don't know why we have to play 3 guards, and I'm hoping we don't, but we shall see. But I do like your lineup. Evans 5, 4, EY 3. I don't have any problems with that. I'm cool with all of it. Just not sure how likely it's going to happen. Alex says Christian Hammond's going to start, right? They talking like he's going to start, which moves Paul to the 3. Oh no. I'm interested to see though. That's gonna be something. I have no idea what our lineup is going to look like now. But I have my ideal lineup. Like when you add Lubin, oh man, my lineups are huge. Like the only 2 mainstays in my start lineup, there's 3 now, is Lubin, Paul McNeil, and Ed Mead. Them 3 are like, okay, my 3. Outside of that, I can switch people in and out because we have, a little bit of wiggle room there in all the other positions. So, and even then, like, I don't want to think about playing Lubin at the 5, but I'm hearing talks of it. And I'm like, why? We don't need to. Even though he's not going to stretch the floor at the 4. So I get it. It's another thing we got to discuss, Pac. Where you want him at? You want him at the 4 or the 5? Or are you happy that he's just on the floor with another big? Talk to me. As we get going here and everybody's, checking in, I appreciate y'all joining the live. Make sure you get in the chat. Tell us what you think. Okay. I want to hear from you. I want to know how everybody is feeling. Because we won't get a lot of good news like that in the off season. We had a tough year. So this is for things to be sort of going our way right now. Got to ride this out. Y'all know that. Let me go ahead and shout out, Den members. These are people that are, really, really supporting Packing with Gary and the channel. They have access to all the VIP stuff. So I want to make sure I shout them out. 6'5" in Florida, 36. He's on right now. Chester Loggins, 9490. Bob Funk. Bob, I know you in here. Chris Corey, 2654. And Benjamin Orman, 1766. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. If y'all want to join the den, still check out a membership that works for you. Just click below with join and you'll see those options. So let's get back to the chat here. So James Johnson says, we're loaded. We're UVA of last year, except we're going to win the Natty. James, I'm loving the energy, James. I'm not going to pull you back from where you at. Okay? I'm going to let you ride out with how you're feeling. Alice says, we have one roster spot, right? Watch Trey Holloman come back. Out. Stop it. Don't do that. Yes, we have one left. He's not coming back. Don't do that. Don't put that out there. David Johnson says, no small ball, please. I think this roster is underrated. Small ball only as experimentation, please. I don't need you experimenting with it. You're right. No small ball. Like, I don't want to. I heard with Corey at Pack Power discussing potential lineups. And there's some things I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. But what I really don't like is Lubin spelling Evans at the 5. Like, why? Bring in Shah Hall, let him do that. Like, what was the point of going to get him? Like, let's just get this man some experience. Let him get caught up with how the game's played at this level. It's not hurt our growth of our other players just because we got Lubin and we know he could be ran into the ground. Let's not run this man into the ground again. And you do not have him out there playing the 4, the 5, 3, everything, all of this stuff. Just keep him on the floor. Please. Do not wear this man down. We have bodies. And David, I'm putting this up here because you already know the answer. Am I excited yet? Just gonna put it there. Bob Funk says top 4 ACC: Duke, Louisville, UVA, State. Ooh, all right, Bob. Let's go. Let's go. Chip, I think it's Chip H.Y. Miller. Do you expect us getting any more players to fill out that last roster spot? I don't, but look, let's be real right now. So there's been discussion of there's the MEAC guard, they're like scoring champion or whatever, but then I'm seeing that we're not going after any more guards, so I don't believe that's going to happen. I can't say. I'm hoping not. Like, you don't need to necessarily add anybody else. And I'm just thinking, like, we had to go get some money to get Lubin back, right? So what type of play? Who is it that we would be like, look, I know we went to the ATM one time. We got to go back to another ask for a donor to be like, look, pay for one more player. We probably maxed out our budget. Like, I don't see that being in the mix. But Gainey is surprising me right now, folks. I'm not gonna lie. So hey, if he can pull it off, pull it off. Let this man cook, Chef Gainey. It's 4365 says, I feel like this is the right piece that completes the roster. This move should push us above the bubble. However, I don't have us ranked higher in the ACC, still sixth. Man, let's talk about this. So, you feel like this move pushed us above the bubble. So, there was really a huge gap between fifth and sixth to you. Like, we can't even move up. Um, that's interesting. That is interesting. I would like for you to share in the chat, and maybe you have already, I haven't seen it yet, who your five are that you still have us behind. Let us know. 6 feet 5 in Florida says, I'm glad the 25 guards team of the last few years is a thing of the past with Gainey. I hear you. James Johnson says, yeah, a lot of size now. At this point, we got a lot of things we didn't have last year. And yes, I'm excited for this team and this season. We fear no one. Repeat, fear no one. James, I hear you. I hear you. I'm in agreement, sir. And look, when you compare this team to last year's team, we don't have the big names, Pack. No, we don't. Right? Um, but I think this team fits better. Like we had a lot of redundancy last year. We had a lot of dudes doing the same thing. Like you had two potential starting point guards, right? Then you had two guys that should have been playing the shooting guard, and Abel and McNeil, but you wanted to try to play them together. Then you had um, Darren Williams playing out of position at the four when he should have been a three, but then you have Lubin playing five when he should have been a four. Like it was crazy. So for me, with this particular team, it seems to fit better. It seems like he's gotten guys to play specific roles and be versatile, which is big. Um, but I also like the fact that we're gonna see a dude coach. Not only did he get a team of guys that fit, but he can actually probably do some better coaching than the guy that we had. That's gonna be exciting to see, like just the maneuvering of what he's doing in the game. There's no way a game's just gonna stand over there and just let stuff happen. I don't see that going down at all. Based on what we see in the practice, I don't think that's gonna happen. All right, go to Art says, okay, great. The guy's back. What is NC State's biggest weakness on paper? Every roster has one. What concerns you most? Good question. So, biggest weakness on paper. Um, hmm. So it all depends on the lineups played. If you take the entire team, I'm going to say the biggest weakness is we're still not a very large team. We have some options, but nobody on our team is over 7 foot. We got some 6'10, 6'11, and then you got 6'9, yada yada. Um, so rebounding may be a challenge. Evans is not an elite rebounder. Um, Lubin helps us out in that regard. But aside from that, we're not going to be an elite rebounding team on paper, is how it looks to me. Now, you can play different lineups to offset that and have better rebounding lineups. So we have to see if that's what he leans towards. So that and maybe some potential, maybe the shot blocking, because Lubin coming back, he's not blocking shots. Right now, we have Evans. We don't know how much Shaw Hall is going to play. And that's pretty much it. So if Evans gets in foul trouble, then we might be a little stuck. But either way, the concerns are still in the paint. David Johnson says, Gary, this roster is too deep at every position and interchangeable parts at that. That is a fact, David. That is a fact, sir. Christopher Berg just joined. Hey, Gary. What's up, Christopher? Glad we got Lubin. Definitely ups the projection, but still has a lot of questions. A lot of different lineups we can use. That's the fun part, Pack. Is yeah, we could do some different stuff. Christopher says Lubin should be backup at the 5 and start at the 4. So, Christopher, I don't like it. I was like, you just joined, but I said I don't like him having a backup Evans, right? Because I mean, let's think about some scenarios. Lubin starts at the 4, like you say, right? You got Evans at the 5. Evans gets in foul trouble. We now go back to that same old mess of playing Lubin out of position. I ain't gonna say out of position. I'm gonna say playing him undersized at the 5, right? He may be a decent center, but he's going to be small at that position. We know that. I don't want to have our backup center have to be small. Now we playing small ball, right? Let this man stay at the 4. Bring in somebody bigger than him at the 5. I mean, that's ideal. Like, what is the point of going to get these people that's bigger than him if we still going to move him over to the 5 just because he was formidable there? I feel like once that person comes in as the backup, if they can't cut it, then you move him over because you don't have a choice. But I don't want that to be the first option. MPLS and H says, with the front court now crowded, how do you see the minutes being distributed without hurting player development or chemistry? So I don't know that it's necessarily crowded because you could, I mean, the people that are able to play could play. You could go too deep at the 4, and there's at least one person like EY that could play the 3. If you wanted to play a bigger lineup, probably a little bit slower lineup, but it is a bigger lineup. It's a whole lot of rumblings about my boy Mikey being the odd man out. I'm not having it. I don't buy it, Pack. I don't buy it. I don't think Zamika Wilkins is going to be the person that's hurt the most by Lubin coming back. Y'all know I'm not high on Jurkovic. And I'm here. I mean, it's just so much talk about this dude that I'm like, I haven't seen it, and I have looked everywhere. Only thing I haven't seen is him moving with my own eyes in practice. I have not seen that, Pack. But aside from that, any video I see of this man, I would say he's the one who can see his minutes dwindle. Now, he's also supposed to be the one that gives us the best stretch 4 option, right? Maybe he's a better backup at the 5 for Evans. I don't know. Ideally, I'd want Shaw Hall backing up Evans. I'd want Mikey, EY backing up Lubin. And then Jurkovic, he could just, he could be over there and be a somebody as a emergency play. Or I know we didn't go over there to that league to get a guy to sit on the bench. I know that. It doesn't sound like much sense. I get it. But we did that before we knew we could have somebody like Lubin back. So I'm just thinking, if we had Lubin, would we have went after him? Like, I don't know. I'm not a fan, so that's gonna be who I think gets hurt. Now, for him, he's grown. I mean, the dude old as I don't know what. So that's not really gonna hurt his development. He's been in this Euro League for a hot minute. And there's NBA players that were there 1 year and average more than he has, and he's like 24 years old. These guys were doing that when they were in high school. So not really worried about his development. As for chemistry, I think somebody like Lubin does not affect chemistry at all. He's not a me first type guy. The dude's not gonna be out there like, oh, I got to get my numbers. Throw me the ball. He don't call for the ball in the paint. Like he, it's the perfect personality to add to your team whenever. It could have been the day before the first practice, the first game. You add this guy, he gonna slide right in like nothing happened. You be like, oh man, where you come from? Dap him up and be excited because he's gonna go to work and he's not gonna mess up any chemistry. And his leadership is gonna be primarily by example. I'm not gonna talk you to death. I'm gonna go do it. So when I feel some type of way about you not doing it, you're gonna respect them. So I don't see any issues here. Bob Fun said some folks need to check Webster's for the definition of the word project. Bob, listen, man, don't let them get you riled up with that word project. They're doing that on purpose. We already talked about that craziness. 6 feet 5 says, I think Lubin's natural position is the 4. I agree. That's where he needs to be at. I mean, it's people talking about he's 6'7", 6'8". Like, we don't know how tall he is. He's standing next to Darian Williams, and they looked about the same height one time. I'm like, oh man, what in the world? I mean, I have no idea, how tall Lubin is, but he needs to be at the 4. I wish we get that hitch out his jumper and work on that, but I got a lot of work. Alex says, what if Michael O'Connell comes back? Alex, I ain't messing with you today. Stop it. David says, no Lubin at the 5, please. Enough depth to cover that. Exactly, David. I'm excited too, man. MPLS says, what version of Lubin does NC State need to reach its ceiling? Consistent scorer, elite rebounder, defensive anchor, or all 3? Well, for ceiling, it's going to be all 3. Like, you need everything for ceiling. But of these things you're mentioning, which is probably most critical, is going to be his rebounding. Because what he was able to do as a rebounder with no other help, it's going to help out if you got somebody else just to cover the other side. Like, I think Lubin's going to be much better defensively and as a rebounder with another big on the floor. That's the thing. My man doesn't even really get in foul trouble, which is huge. I don't know how he manages that, being undersized, but he does a decent job. So if he can bring that to this team, cool. Now, the consistent scorer, he sort of just wakes up and scores buckets. You don't run a play for him. He gets offensive rebounds, and he puts it back up. He's not a guy that's getting the rebound, having to look out and see who's open, but he can't do that. He's going to create some open shots because once he gets the ball, people are going to be trying to, close down on him and everything like that and pick at the ball. But he does a pretty good job of getting that ball and going back up with it and converting it a high clip. So all these things I think will happen. The defensive anchor part is we don't need him to be a defensive anchor. We just need him to continue to be vulnerable defensively. Like, he's just got to be there and be decent. That's it. David John said, I want to come on the show every win a natty. Listen, I have all of y'all on here. We'll just go through and y'all can say, oh, I'm ready to come on, and I'll send you a link with this natty. Because, yeah, if that happens, we're going to be on all day, I'm sure. I might have to dedicate a whole Saturday to this, to just coming over here and talking about this crazy excitement, what game he pulled off, if he did something like that. All right, MPLS says the ceiling looks exciting on paper. The floor depends on how quickly this group develops chemistry and defensive identity. So look, adding this one guy is not rocking with any of that stuff. I don't see adding Lubin affecting anything. So the floor is already the floor, right? Adding him does not. It's we're the lowest we're going to be before you add him. Adding him, we're not getting any worse. Only going to get better. And that floor jumps dramatically to me. How much? I'll tell you. Lubin, again, could get on this team with no practice and we'll still be a better team. Because my man just going to go get the ball off the rim and set picks. He's that type of player. You don't need, I mean, he could just run him from block to block up to the 3-point line, pick, roll. He could literally do that the whole game and be very effective and cause problems for the other team. So this chemistry, not a problem. They seem to be sort of a tight-knit group. We already know he's got his thing with, Paul. He knows Mikey. Hey, should be no problems. Bob Font says the lineup is going to be matchup dependent. I hope, because that would be some coaching, right? To see a coach say, you know what? Yeah, we switched the lineup up because of who we playing or the advantage we have with this particular lineup. Like, I want to see that. Not to play the same group every time unless that 5 is just way better than the other 5, but that's not this team. It's not 5 guys way better than the other 5 that's coming off the bench. So you should see dudes coming in and out depending upon who we play or who's hot. Maybe somebody goes on a heater and they're hot for a few games. Like, I don't want to see Paul starting in every game if this guy's in a slump, right? I know he's supposed to be the leader, but sometimes you got to sit that guy down and be like, hey, man, chucking out them bricks. You all right? Maybe you need to come sit over here beside me for a little bit. Get you some, I don't know, some bench time, a little focus, motivation, whatever you need. All right, David Johnson says, I hate small ball, Gary. Had enough of that with Keats and Wilfredo Wade. You're right. Yeah, you're right. That's all we got to say to that. Alex says, did you hear about Seth Trimble going to Louisville? Yes, we heard about that. He didn't want to go, but that team is full. And I sort of get the problem. So, hey, good riddance. I mean, you can go to Louisville and play them guys, play Carolina 2 times. They paid him like $3 million, which is crazy. But that's another thing. It's 4365 says, I want Lubin playing on their screen setter on defense because he has lateral quickness. I have the other big floating in the lane. Not sure how the offense will look with 2 bigs that don't space the floor. Yeah, that's the thing is about your floor spacing. If you got 2 bigs and neither one of them can stretch the floor, I don't know. But we shall see. I mean, who knows, man? You just never know. Maybe you just like, look, we're going to beat up on these guys in the paint. We'll see how it plays out. Golden Arc says, depth is only an advantage if Gainey can define roles. Too many talented players without clear roles can become a problem. It could become a problem, but not on this team. We don't have that type of talent, right? We didn't go out and get 5 McDonald's All-American. That's a Duke problem. Duke has to do this statement here, right? You got to make sure everybody know their role because everyone's used to being the man. Just last year, most of them were the man wherever they were at. Our team got some role players that are coming to play their role. We got a couple of dudes that were probably the man, but they get that they're stepping up to a different level. So it's not like that for us. I'm not concerned about this at all. And Gainey's he's gonna do all right with this role thing. I'm pretty sure. All right, so is 4365 is following up with who he has in front of us in the ACC standings: Duke, Louisville, Virginia, Miami, Clemson. Clemson, that one's a little surprising. You got Clemson over. I mean, so you got Clemson over Carolina, you got them over Pitt, Florida State. I know Clemson's coaching is decent, but I don't know what they've added that has them above us with us having Lubin back. Because even their guy who had a fifth year didn't come back. He transferred out. So that's interesting. Clemson. David Johnson says Duke, UVA, Louisville, NC State, my top four in the ACC. All right. I'm okay with that. All right. Bafon says the most important question is, are we better on paper than Carawini? I think we are. I'll tell you why. And listen, I have some podcasters that I do stuff with Carolina. You all have seen. There's one in particular. These people don't like me. It's bad, but they hate when I talk about their team, so they're going to love this. I feel like we've talked about how the team has to mesh and the pieces have to fit. I don't like their pieces. Like on paper, I don't like it. You got you leaning on Matt Abel to be probably your number 2 scorer. They got a guy from like Houston or something like that. Not Houston, Utah. He was a high level scorer, but inefficiently. Then they got your guy Neo from Virginia Tech. So he was on a losing team and it really didn't pan out to be what he was supposed to be. I don't know which one of them is supposed to run the point. Doesn't sound like Matt Abel was going to run the point like he was begging to do, I guess, and show that he can be a playmaker. Then they got a freshman who is probably the deal, like Maximo, something like that. I think he is supposed to be like the real deal. So does he start? And when you bring in a freshman like that, McDonald's All-American level player, now it is he going to decide he needs to take over, or is he going to get in line and let these older guys lead him? I don't know. And then they got these bigs that I have no idea other than Stevenson who these bigs are. So on paper, I think we're better based on fit. They do have more proven players at our level. Hands down. It's not close. I mean, you think Abel, Neo, Stevenson, that's 3 right there that are, played in the ACC. So a lot of minutes in the ACC. So I don't know. I think on paper we are better. Front Cross says small ball only works if you have Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green as your guards. Wade's 3-guard lineup was a disaster. I hear you. All right. Alice says this is the type of team no one expects to do anything, and then they ruin brackets and make the Sweet 16. So let's hope they go further than that. Jonathan, what's up, man? Jonathan Gallen says, what up? Duke, Virginia, Louisville, Miami, and then the rest. I'm a homer, but I think our roster is now better than UNC's. They have no scoring threat in the interior. I hear you. MKX8 Design says, how much of a jump do you realistically expect from Lubin this season? And what would a successful year statistically look like? Good question. So look, Lubin is deciding to stay at a school for the first time in his collegiate career. Transferred after his freshman year, sophomore year, junior year. Okay. With the first school, he's staying at twice. And even though he's not playing under the same coach, I believe Gainey's approach and ability to help him improve is going to be a big deal here. Not only is Gainey probably going to help him improve, but the staff he has around him, I've been hype about this assistant coaching staff from the beginning. Like, I think these guys are really good. And, Gainey's probably going to get a lot of the credit, all the credit. But these guys he's got sitting on the bench with him, they seem to know what they're doing. And so with that being said, I think Lubin takes a step forward with his game. I think maybe you see more of like a mid-range jumper. Don't know if they're going to get him out to the three-point line. Probably becomes more efficient from the free throw line. If they can fix that hitch, that changes everything. But, we'll see. I think he's going to be a better rebounder because he's going to be put in better position to rebound, meaning he's not going to be the only big on the court. That's going to help this man get more rebounds. He's not going to have to fight off multiple bigs in the paint. So, of course, and he was already getting 7. He may end up, to answer your question, statistically averaging almost a double-double. I don't know if his points going to be where it was, but he might get close to averaging about 10 boards a game. We will take that. He's definitely going to do that if they try to have him playing backup 5. He's going to be on the court the whole daggone game. David Johnson says, bingo, Gary. About last year's team, Wilfredo Wade was a phony. Class starts tomorrow. He only had 5 eligible players. He only has 5 eligible players for LSU. F. Wilfredo Lee Wade. Yeah. What's his name? Frank? Ain't that his name? Or some mess like that? I don't know. Yeah, he's that guy, man. You're talking about dodging a bullet, Pack. We don't talk about the bullet we just dodged. Think about how bad this could have been. This man could have stayed, and he could have been like, yeah, so we're going to wait on this rule. He could have ran away all these other players. Like, I don't know. It could have been bad. It's what we don't know, what this man was doing. But none of his players to go follow him to his new school, and you can pay them the crazy bag. Take a moment. All of your former players that have eligibility would not go play for you, and you can overpay them. That's wild. Alex says, do you think this is the type of team that'll score and defend a lot? I want to think so. I mean, the way Coach talks, Ed Mead is sort of like a dog on the ball. Maybe he's going to get a lot of steals, create some fast breaks. If he can get the other guards to stay in front of the ball and we can defensive rebound at a decent clip, then yeah. A lot of the little clips we see, Gainey is saying you got to look to score. He's not going to be out there just passing the ball around just to be doing so. So I think we could be a team that plays at a faster pace. It's always looking to score. Should result in a lot of points. And he's going to defend. So I'm going to say yes to this. MKX8 Design says, I think the real test isn't whether we have enough talent. It's whether we have enough shooting and late game creators. We got plenty of shooting. So that's covered. The late game shot creator and bailing you out is supposed to be Ed Mead. I think Adams has that as well. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see about that one. Paul should be able to do it, but he's got to be more trusting with his handle. Like, I feel like he's got some ball handling that maybe we haven't seen, but it's got to be shored up if he's going to be somebody that, breaks a person down at the end of a shot clock, not just step back, try to shoot over. Jonathan Gatlin says Lubin makes up for the rebound deficiency. Problem is the way we should play with Lubin at 4 and Evans at the 5. We need offensive rebounds. Our weakness is depth at the 1 and depth at the 5 at each end. Okay. Bob Fonse's biggest weakness on paper is the lack of guards who can penetrate and attack the rim, take advantage of the spacing our shooters create. So, Bob, I hear you, but we know Ed Mead can get to the rim. Adams can get to the rim. Christian Hammond can get to the rim. So, I don't think, Paul should be able to get to the rim. It's not a ability thing with him. He's just got to mentally decide he wants to get to the basket. He's added weight and his shot creating the space from head fakes and being able to, just get by people. He should be at the rim a lot. We're going to see if that plays out, man. We're going to see if that plays out. Christopher says, I agree with you, Gary. I should have worded that better. Lubin should be a 4 majority of the time. A last resort backup at the 5. Meaning if Evans and Hall ain't working out at the 5. I got you. We're on the same page. Let's see. John Pagano says, Gary, I'm not high on Jurkovic either, but he's the best option at the backup, option 2 backup Evans from a stretch 5 option. Right. Dude shot 41% from 3. I just hope he doesn't get pushed around. Jonathan, listen. I get it, and you're right. I see him as the backup 5. That's cool. Oh no, man. I just don't care about my 5-man shooting threes. I don't care about that. And then on the defensive end, I seen Mikey just move him. So if Mikey moving you, what you think the rest of these dudes in the paint gonna do? So I'm concerned defensively with him on the court. I don't care if he is shooting 40-something% from 3. We got plenty of 3-point shooters. I don't need another one, especially my center. That's just my take. All right, MK's Zhong 7623 says, if this team underachieves, what do you think will be the most likely reason? Guard play, shooting, defense, chemistry, or coaching? Injuries. I know that wasn't one of your options, but I do not believe it's going to be guard play. I do not believe it's going to be shooting. I don't think it's defense. Matter of fact, of all those things, it would have to be coaching, because if the guard play is the problem, that's coaching. Shouldn't have had them fools in the game. If it's shooting, shouldn't have had them fools in the game. And what are you doing in practice in between games? If it's defense, it's your fault. If it's the chemistry, your fault again. So I'm like, ultimately of all this is going to be the coaching, if it's one of these. But I think if they underachieve, it's going to be injuries. David Johnson, Gary, you don't have to run plays for Lubin. Not a chemistry problem whatsoever. Nope. Not at all. James Johnson says, Mikey has the potential to turn into Lubin. I believe his skills will be similar as he progresses and stays in the program. Look, James, I think he'll be way better than Lubin. Let me tell you, he fundamentally has parts to his game I don't see from Lubin right now, right? Mikey has, I think, a better handle of the basketball. I think he's quicker, even though he may be, bigger. I feel like he's quicker. He's got more quick twitch. And that right there, I don't know what his jumper is like, but if he can start shooting the three, we know he don't have that hitch like Lubin. So if that is all there, man, by the time this dude's a fifth-year senior, well, yeah, because he has redshirt year. See, about the time his senior year, man, yeah, he would be a problem. All right. Christopher Burke says, regarding chemistry, bottom line is Gainey's job is to win, not please every player on his team. He needs to do what he needs to do to win. If it causes hurt feelings, oh well, just win. I agree. Not worry about none of these cats. Plus, you getting paid. It'd be different if you was like, all right, I'm walking on, I'm trying to get some minutes, I need to show what I can do, yada yada. Okay, you can have your hurt feelings. If you were just on a scholarship and paying for your schooling, you okay, cool. You getting a check. Now it's different. Suck it up or get better if you want to get on the court. MK Jean says, do we have enough consistent perimeter shooting to prevent teams from packing the paint against our bigs? Absolutely. There's not going to be any. That's not going to happen. If a team is bold enough to pack the paint, they don't lost their daggone mind with Paul McNeil, Ed Mead, Adams, Hammond, EY. Like, nah, it's too much shoot for them to try that mess. That's not going to be what we got to worry about. Plus, they're probably not going to be concerned about our bigs like that to be packing the paint. They'll probably push up on the 3-point shooters more, making us utilize our bigs instead of just raining down threes on them. Bob Font says, MK Jean, we are the best perimeter shooting team in the nation. It's a little stretch, but I hear you, Bob. They can shoot. They can definitely shoot. 6'5" in Florida says, I'm surprised no one mentioned the fact that the two best players returned, McNeil and Lubin. That alone is enough to be excited about. Hey, 6 feet. Look, 6'5" is telling us we're not putting enough emphasis on who returned. And the only guy that, Quadir, he's on an NBA roster, so it makes sense. He's in the 2K game. He's not going to come back, but I feel like if he could have or needed to, he would have, right? We would have had that cat too. So you're right here. You are right. We're not talking about this enough. Gainey came in and told us that it's about relationships, building relationships, connecting with guys, not just the money, right? And in 2 instances so far, this man has proven his point, y'all. We were outbid for both of these guys from multiple teams. I'm pretty sure Carolina threw a crazy bag at Paul McNeil. He stalled him out, said no, so they went for the second best option after him and got Abel. Okay, so he went after the weak-minded one. It's cool. Our guy stayed. Then you also had Will Wade trying to throw crazy money at it. We know we couldn't match that number. Stayed. And then you get a guy. So let me start there for a second. Maybe Paul was just like, look, I like being close to home. I'm a homebody. I want my family be able to come see me play, yada, yada. And that was the driving factor for him. Maybe not Gainey. Okay, cool. Either way, we got him. Now, Lubin, this man keeps his suitcase packed. He done been at all the schools. So for him, this was a bigger deal. Now, a man that's known to transfer from school to school stayed with us. I got Gainey is cooking, y'all. My man is cooking. And that's what has me really excited. I sit on here and I tell y'all, man, I wish he would do this. I wish he would do that. But I'm really looking forward to what he's actually going to do in every circumstance. Because I'm like, he ain't let me down just yet. Like, we really haven't had a whiff, knock on wood, on what we were trying to do. We wanted Paul back, got him. Want to get Lubin, got him. Oh no, Pack. Oh no. It's it's looking real good right now with our coach. And I know we ain't seen him coach anything just yet. But like I said, that staff behind him is going to cover up any holes he has in his coaching game. Watch what I tell you. But Fun says, folks, we are not getting Micah. We can't afford him. And according to insiders, Lubin was the guy we wanted. Now we have him. Micah is not needed. Yeah, Bob, he's not needed. People just being greedy. Just think about it. As a Pack fan, when have we had really the opportunity to feel like we can be greedy, let alone be greedy? Right? Just being able to have a feeling like, damn, we want the 7-footer too. Nah, man. Normally it's, we can't even get one, let alone wanting to get a second big. So, hey, I understand them wanting to be greedy right now. We don't know how many times we're going to be in this position, and we're not in it often. So you all are killing it in the chat. So I'm just getting caught up here. Keep doing your thing. I'm going to get to you. All right, Golden Art says, what type of team gives this roster the most trouble? A fast-paced, guard-heavy team, physical front court, and elite defensive team. Golden Art be asking the bangers. All right. What team would give this team the most trouble? I don't know, but let's run through it. So a fast-paced, guard-heavy team, I don't believe is going to be a problem. I think we have enough guards to deal with that scenario. Physical front court could be a problem because we have bodies, but we don't know the depth just yet on who can actually contribute at a a high level, right? We got Lubin, and that's our proven one. Everybody else is pretty much question mark, right? Like they high on Yarkovich. We got to see how he handles himself in this level of basketball. Because I know that's the top European league, but I'm telling you, those guys over there are not as athletic. If y'all watch it, they're not jumping all over the place and banging on your head. That's what you're gonna have to deal with here. Not just moving his feet. You're gonna have to be like looking up at the clouds. But we're gonna see. But in the paint, we could get beat up in the paint. Because if Evans gets in foul trouble, let's say he is who we think he is who we think he is, and being an elite shot blocker, then that's cool. But once he goes, then what? Shaw Hall ready to step up just yet? Is he gonna need some time? So I don't like the physical front court team. Because if Lubin get in foul trouble and Evans in foul trouble, our team is in trouble. And we really gonna have to make a pivot. As an elite defensive team, I don't know. It must be a low scoring game. When you have good shot makers, like Paul McNeil, we know with Paul McNeil, if he's hot, it doesn't matter how good of a defensive team you are. He can do what he needs to do if he's hot. Now, if he works on other aspects of his game and being able to contribute in other ways when his shot is not falling and he's a streaky shooter, then great. We won't have to worry about any of this stuff, but we don't know that that's going to happen. And I'm not going to hold my breath hoping that this man changes that much. So we shall see. But yeah, just to address, I think the physical front court is going to be the most troublesome team that we have based off of how we look on paper. All right, David Johnson says Burns and DR weren't space floor players neither. How did that work out? History lesson, Gary. When NC State wins big, they're always playing two bigs together. No, you're right. I've said that. We play two bigs, and that's when we're good. Sweet 16s, all the Sweet 16 runs we had before that Final Four, we had two bigs. And they didn't need to be floor spacers, like you said. Now, the game has changed a little bit, but still, I like it. So, no complaints from me here. My fun says we are better than Clemson, in my opinion. Miami is close comp to us. Yeah, I mean, Miami just has more guys that are proven. That's what it boils down to. It's not necessarily a talent thing with them. It's just all their whole team is played at a high level, and in a major conference. So, Mellow Fellow 23 says Gary, I am stoked over us getting Lubin back. He and Paul were my two favorite players from last year's team. Lubin changes everything. I really would love seeing Adams making an impact on this team. Absolutely. I'm high on Adams. I think Adams ends up starting, but he's only going to start. Well, I ain't gonna say he's only going to start. I would like him to start and play the 3 and move Paul to the 2. But if we had to play 3 guards, I would like Adams to be in there because I think he has a really high ceiling. My two favorite players last year were Quadir and Lubin. Like I rock with Paul. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know how you don't have Quadir as a favorite. That man embodied NC State. Like his whole demeanor and just like attitude to the game, like chip on his shoulder type play, was Wolfpack all day. He should have been here his whole career. Like I hate that he wasn't, but yeah, Quadir is my guy. And then Mellow Fellow has continued. It says, along with Mikey and Shaw Hall, with us having a strong bench at every position. Sorry I didn't get your continuation there, Mellow Fellow. All right, Bob Funk says, and me can penetrate and hit a floater, but he is not really attacking the rim a lot. Hammond kind of the same thing, in my opinion. Him is bigger, though. It means just he's a smaller guard, so I'm curious to see how they're going to work on his finishing at the rim. Nathan Davis says this edition makes us capable of finishing the top 5 of the ACC. Yeah, that double bye is realistic now, Pat. Right? Like we got to just think about it. We still a couple games on the road. Our home slate we should run through, other than Louisville, which we need to get our lick back because they spanked us on national television like it was nothing. If we can beat them at home, the rest of our home games are teams that aren't projected to be that great in the league. So, yeah, the schedule's playing out. Let's just put it that way. Jonathan Gatton says the coaches need to watch the Florida team that won in last year's Michigan. Yeah, we don't have near the talent 4 to 5 that they played two bigs. They also had Yaks and Thomas Huff, which we don't have. Right. Yeah, we're not going to talk about the difference in talent. Kenneth Rowland says, hey, Gary, now that you have Lubin, what is your position now on the pack? Yeah, Kenneth, welcome to the chat. So for me, I think we could squeeze out this top 4. I think we can get 4th. I think we can get 4th. The only scenario playing in my head that has me not, I ain't gonna say concerned, that has me cautious about picking us 4th instead of maybe 5th, 6th is I don't need Paul to take a back seat to Lubin with this leadership. Just because this man is back, I don't need you thinking like, oh, I'm off the hook. I can just chill now and go back to Ben. No, you have Paul. You still got to be the leader. You still got to be the leader. Like you still got to develop those qualities. You got to get that practice in. You got to. Lubin is not coming back to take over this team. He's going to do it by his play on the court. But I'm hoping that doesn't cause any, drop of the ball when it comes to the leadership of these guys. We're going to see, though. David Johnson says, Gary, you won't admit it, but you are excited. Nothing wrong with it, my friend. Oh, David, I completely admit it. If you missed that, I will tell you again. I'm overly excited, okay? I'm so excited. Call up my Chopper Hill friends and be like, look, you know y'all in trouble, right? They don't like it. Oh, they don't like it. They are, hey, listen, y'all got to remember we got this neutral site game with them early on, right? And they got to see Lubin again. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm tempering my excitement so we can have a conversation on here instead of me just hollering in your ear. That's all. Jonathan Gatlin says, I'm not going to lie. I want Micah too. Dude covers up everything we don't have, specifically if Evans cannot translate. Not going to lie. I'm in the greedy bunch. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. If anybody is saying, look, I don't want Mikey also, or Mike, excuse me, I don't want Micah also, is lying, right? Like, as a state fan, yes, we would take that guy too if we can get him, but we don't necessarily need that. Because then you really got some childish on who's going to play at that point. But it's a good problem to have. All right, let's see. Jonathan Gatlin says, like I said, if Embiid gets in foul trouble and Evans gets in foul trouble, we lack depth we have from 2 to 4 at the 1 to 5. The 5 I agree with. I'm not sure we lack so much depth at the 1 that you think. I think it'd be like last year how old buddy Wade switched up and started letting Darian Williams bring the ball up some. Like, we know we got guards on our team now that have a better skill set than this dude running the point. So if you got a guy that can handle the ball enough to bring it up and play make and start offense, it's enough. You don't need nothing crazy. And maybe Kingston Whitty is in the game. I mean, he's over there. So I don't know. I just feel like and we also got the dude Comey. I don't know how to say his whole name. I think he's way better than what people think. He's a grown man. That boy is strong. So and he can handle the ball at a decent clip. So he could probably even come in and do something. We don't hardly ever talk about him, but he's there. Latham David says, do you think Hall will be better for us this year than Musa was for us last year? Whew, man, that's a name y'all know I don't talk about much. Oh, Lord, that daggone Musa. Such a waste. I think there'll be no comparison. Musa to me was soft and mentally fragile. Okay. We talking about a guy that if something happened to him, he falls down and has the limp off the court and if he makes a bad play, turns the ball over, then he's faking an injury because his feelings are hurt. Like, I don't have time for that. There's no comparison here. I think Shah Hall would be way better for us than Musa was last year. just highly disappointed in how Musa turned out. It started off so promising, and it went from sugar to the S word very, very quick. Bob Hunt says, I've heard Evan Maya has us as number 5 nationally on offense with Val. Palmer has us number 7 offensively. Ooh, those some, yeah, I've seen that. Those some crazy numbers. To be number 5 and number 7. I just look forward to seeing that offense. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. That I look forward to seeing that offense. Bob Funk also says, Jonathan, I hear you. I was on here before saying I prefer Mike over Val because we are not great defensively on the perimeter. We need elite rim protection. Evans gives us that, but we need a backup. You know, Bob, I'm hoping that we're a lot better on the perimeter than what people think. Um, you know, if we're a team that plays phenomenal team defense, that's going to be exciting. Think about like, okay, the guy on the ball gets beat. His, guy slides over, help side, cuts off the drive, right? Dude swings the ball. The person that was, supposed to close out on that gets over there and everybody rotates. Like if our team could play good team defense, you ain't got to be like elite on the perimeter. You can also just be very good with great defensive principles as a team. That's what I'm looking for. If that happens, oh man, I'm cooking in. If it's like, look, yeah, our person got beat, but look at the help side and the recovery and just look how they move together. If they're tuned in like that, man, it's gonna be a good time. David Johnson says Carolina team loaded with projects themselves, Gary. To be the brakes off them twice this year. I would love it. Oh man, I would love it. That'd be something good to me. David also says Hall way more athletic than Moose. Absolutely. Them fighting words on this board. Yeah, tell him. Nathan Davis says Musa played way too much with his hands and not enough with his feet. Man, listen, that daggone Musa, man, he was just, yeah. Spend our time talking about him. Jonathan says, Gary, give us your prediction of how many players play. Also, who plays. Sure, I'll do that. So I'm going to say that we have, with this team, we finally see a coach play 9 to 10 on a nightly basis. I don't think he's going to have an 8-man rotation or shorter. I really think he pushes for the 8-9. And the reason I say that is because when you do that, it then creates the what do you call the environment for everybody to play harder, right? And to reward, that type of behavior in the game. And so if he's saying, look, we're going to play hard, well, you're going to get tired playing really, really hard, not conserving energy. So you're going to have to play a deeper bench if you can. And I think he has the players to do so. So who plays? I think Ed Mead, Paul, EY, Christian Hammond, of course, Lubin, Evans, that's 6. Then you got, I want to say Shaw Hall is in the mix. That's 7. You got Adams at 8. And then my other 2, like, here's the funny part. We haven't even talked about the glue guy. Keen. We don't talk about him at all, but I'm like, I guess he gets in the mix. You have RJ Keene, and then my other one's gonna be, if that 10 would be Mikey. Now, no, I do not have Jurkovic in there. I know. But if you put in Jurkovic, then you're taking out Shaw Hall, I think. I don't think Mikey is going to be kept off the court. I think Shaw Hall is probably, just because they're saying that, he's more of the project of anybody. He's the most gifted athletically, but when it comes to actually playing basketball, he might be more the project than anybody on the team. So he would be the one out, I think, with this, if you're playing 10. That's if you force me to play Jurkovic, because I really don't want to. All right, Clyde Gaddis says everybody know Duke is going to win the season. I just tell them the truth. I just tell them the truth, I guess. Look, Clyde, you're a Duke fan, man. You always come in here talking about Duke. We know Duke good. Stop talking about that mess. But they could probably be beat. We don't know. We'll see what happens. Fun says, yeah, Comey is, I think that's supposed to be a gem, no doubt. He looks good in practice. Yeah, Comey is, yeah, he a sleeper. People not talking about that cat. David Johnson says, think you're going to see some fierce competition for playing time, Gary. Iron sharpens iron. Look out, ACC. That's the thing, man. We don't have a team where you're like, yo, these 5 dudes are way better than the bench. We don't have that. And honestly, Pac, I'm going to say this. Don't get mad at me. Paul McNeil's not that much better than the dude behind him. If we want to be honest. Yeah, we went after him crazy, and he was our coveted guy to bring back. And yeah, he dropped 41 times, shooting a bunch of threes. But Christian Hammond, Darius Adams, those guys can do a lot of different things on the court. And if you needed to sit your boy down for a little bit, they could come in and get going. So honestly, there's nobody. I mean, I guess Ed Mead's the only one that sort of has a clear advantage over the potential guy behind him. Everybody else, hey, you in the battle. You better get right out there, because at any moment, you can be looking over that sideline like, who sit over here? I like it. James Johnson says, I'm not convinced Duke will win the season. They will be good, but don't underestimate UVA, Louisville, Miami. They crank it up. Duke is a favorite, but we'll see how it all plays out. Yeah, like UVA is going to be very, very good. And we know Miami is well coached. Not sure exactly how good their team. I mean, I know they're going to be good. I don't know if it's when the ACC good. And Louisville has spent so much money, guys. Like, I didn't know how many billionaires they had. When I looked up, they got all these CEOs of companies that can write a check like crazy for Louisville if they needed to. But to give Seth Trimble $3 million to come to your team after you done filled your whole team out with a bunch of big name guys that everybody wanted in the portal, listen, they bought themselves a national contender. And I was just talking to someone about this the other day. I'm like, with Louisville, if they don't win, this guy might get fired, because he's giving everything he needs. He's getting that John Shire type commitment to the team. So he can't just keep coming in second, third. He's got to win soon. So yeah, Louisville's going to be a problem. Christopher Bird says, agree, Gary. I wouldn't put it past me having a bigger season than McNeil. Hey, man, it could happen. It could definitely happen. I'm hoping it doesn't, right? Let me switch it up. He can have a bigger season, but I still need McNeil to take a step forward. Okay, as long as he's taking a step forward, it's not a problem that another guy took a bigger step. and became our main dog. That's okay. But Paul, you can't revert back to the Paul we had last year. That was decent, but we need big time Paul. David Johnson says, think people sleeping on this roster, Gary. Absolutely. They are. We know that. They are. I mean, they sleep on this anyway, but they really sleeping on this. Christopher Bird says, UL spending all that money. They got to show something for it. Better be winning a ring with that money. Exactly. Like, it's crazy, but I forget that guy's name. Y'all can tell me what the coach's name is. But to be in his position is tough because it's like, yo, you winning, but the way the money you're spending, you should be winning more. The wins aren't really equaling the spend right now up there. So that's, you got to be on some real consistent winning stuff the way they're spending. Jonathan Gatlin says, we have 14 on the roster. With 10, we are sitting 4 out. Whitty, Brim, Jerkovic, Comey. Yeah, I mean, those will be the ones. I think Whitty is going to be very good in the future, but I don't see him playing this year unless he leapfrogs somebody, because he would have to take somebody minutes if he does play. Think about that. Jerkovic, you already know how I feel about that. Brim, no chance. I think he just wanted to come back home and be in the area. Yeah, those 4. And the Jerkovic and Hall are the ones interchangeable there. Let's see. David Johnson says, Seth Trimmer is a ham and egger, Gary. F Louisville. Whew, man. You sound like you went to Kentucky with that one. Bob Funk says, now Hall is a true project. Yes, that is a project, Bob. Tell him. Clyde got to say, I just got a feeling. People can't get mad because my feeling is right. MK Sneeze says, remember last year when Mbaya wanted to come to state and then we got Lubin and ran out of money? Yeah, I remember that whole switch up. That was crazy, but seeing him at Kansas, man, like, we was good on that. And Wade wouldn't have played him anyway. He would have been sitting over there with Bube. Oh, Bob says GAM is acronym for grown ass man. Sorry, sir. I didn't get that. GAM. All right. Thank you for clearing that up. Pat Kelsey is his name. Jonathan Gatlin gave me that. Appreciate that. Clyde Gaddis says Louisville is going to be good. He only won one game in the ACC tournament. Yeah, that dude, he got to do better. Clyde Gaddis continues. He don't get the talent John Shire gets. He gets transferred. John Shire gets recruits. Okay, I think you're trying to say he gets people out the transfer portal, but Shire recruits a lot of his team out of high school. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely levels of this. So I'm not saying he's on Shire's level, but the money is the thing. They're still spending like crazy. They're probably 1 and 2 in our league and spend with their rosters. All right, so I am caught up, guys. So look, as we close this down, it seems to be the consensus. Everybody is pretty excited about getting Lubin, right? Nobody's like, we shouldn't have did that. Oh, what about the guys on the team? Feel so bad for them. Nah. Now we're in the mix. We got a decent squad. We got to show up to the games, Pack. I'm here. I know our home slate is a little subpar, but for some reason we don't talk about it enough. Whenever our arena is packed, we win those games majority of the time. It don't matter who it is we're playing. We were in Reynolds and we packed that thing out. We won ACC championships. We move into our new arena, and it's been shaky over there. But all those big games where we're really, really sold out, we won those games, right? Rush the floor. Like we've had those. We need to expect to win, but we also got to create that environment. So I'm hoping y'all pack it out this year. Gonna see y'all in there. We got to get behind this team because it's time to get hyped now. It's time to get hyped. Our coach not going to hype us up. So we got to do the hyping ourselves. He's going to stick to just showing us what it is. Let's show the support. As always, Pack Nation, please like, subscribe, share the channel. Tell your friends so they can come in on the next live. Y'all can get in here and tell me what other topics you want to talk about. Okay? I appreciate y'all. Go Pack.